Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best tips for tomorrow's horse racing action. Now before we get stuck into those tips, I just quickly want to recap on how our tips have ran today. At the current time of recording, I'm making this video just before 5 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, and we've still got one tip which will be running in the 7:15 at Wolverhampton to go. That's Boss Power for Sir Michael Stout and Sylvester de Souza has been well backed last time I saw it, and fingers crossed he can give us a good run for our money and win the race. If he does win it, it'll mean we'll have a small profitable day today. But away from that selection, we're probably either gonna come out with a small loss or a small profit, and our only success of the day was our nap, which was Omnivega. Glad to be back amongst the winners there. That means we've had 6 winning naps from 7 selections so far in September, and we put up Omnivega at Kempton. We actually put him up yesterday to run at Newcastle, but he was withdrawn and he took up the engagement at Kempton, and in the end it was quite a comfortable victory. We put him up at 13-8 last night. He was well gambled on. I think he went off even money in the end. He was already a course specialist, and I believe that's his 3rd course win now at Kempton, so he's definitely a horse going places and definitely one to still keep in the memory bank for future races. Away from that though, E-Bar Gum was one of our other tips, our extra tip. He ran okay for a long way, and I thought at one point he was just going to kick on, but he just didn't have that gear in the last furlong to go and win his race. A little bit frustrating there. I think I won't be getting involved with him again. He'll probably come up and spring at a big price now, but yeah, E-Bar Gum, I probably wouldn't want to side with him next time out. And the other selection, who I did think ran a credible race, even though they didn't give us any profit, but they nearly did, that was Mayfair Pride. We put the horse up at 16-1 each way, did drift a little bit to 18-20-1 in places I saw for Charlie Fellows, but he ran a really respectable race. We were recommending him with the extra places that were on offer with most bookmakers. Most firms were paying out 4 places, and in the end he just finished in 5th in a photo for 3rd place, and he ran on really well. He had no excuses. He got the gaps. It did open up for him and he was staying on. He was trying his best, but he probably just found it to be a little bit of a warm race in the end. But I thought at a big price, he gave us a run for our money, and as a long shot he didn't do too badly for us. But yeah, it was frustrating there that he couldn't place. So yeah, that's how the tips have ran today, and fingers crossed Boss Power can go and do it for us in the 7:15 at Wolverhampton. Now, I said to you I've got 5 tips for tomorrow's horse racing action, and we're going to be starting off tomorrow in the 2:10 at Doncaster with a horse called Indigo Girl. Now this horse is going to be my nap tomorrow in the Group 2 Mayhill Stakes, one of the feature races on the card there tomorrow for Frankie Dettori and John Gosden, in the colours of George Strawbridge, who have been in the game for many a year. Now you can currently back this horse at 10-3, and this price was available when I was checking on Odds Checker around about 5 minutes ago with Boyle Sports. So if you can still get the 10-3 there, that's where you need to go if you want that price. But this horse was a very impressive winner on debut at Yarmouth and couldn't have done it any better. Wasn't actually a favourite for the race in the end. Was a little bit weak in the betting, but she did very well. She showed a really good attitude, a great turn of foot to put the race to bed, and she wasn't stopping after she hit the line. It took her quite a while for Rab Havlin to pull her up. So I think there's a lot to like about this filly. She's by Dubai, out of a Monju mare, which actually means she's a full sister to Journey, who was a Group 1 winner for the same connections, and I think she's got a bit of class about her. And even though Zabil Queen is favourite at the moment for Richard Hannon, I just think the way Indigo Girl did it last time out suggested that she's got a lot more to offer. And I think her turn of foot was what I was really impressed with her most about. We already know she stays the trip and she'll probably get further in time during her career. That day was at Yarmouth was on soft ground. There could still be a little bit of cut in the ground at Doncaster tomorrow. There was a bit of soft in it today, and if it hasn't completely dried out, I just think the experience on that softer surface will see her in good stead. And I think at 10-3 tomorrow, that's a good price there, and I think she might go off favourite tomorrow. I could see there being a lot of support for this filly. We then go to the 240. Now this is gonna be my long shot tomorrow, and that's Uncle Jumbo, which you can currently back at 7-1, and he's only just my long shot because I am going to be putting a tip up half a point shorter tomorrow. But Uncle Jumbo is technically my long shot tomorrow, even though he's not the biggest long shot price I've ever put up for Kevin Stott and Kevin Ryan. Now this horse has already won at Doncaster. He's already got a win in the bag when he won on debut here. He was a big price that day as well. I think he was 18-1 final SP. He then went to the big sales race at the Ebor Festival a couple of weeks ago at York, where he did really well to finish in 4th place that day. And if you actually look at the form of the race already, it's already starting to tie up quite nicely, because the winner that day was Richard Hannon's Happy Romance, and Happy Romance was a winner for us last week in the Group 3 Dick Pool Stakes at Salisbury. So the form from that race has worked out not too badly, and I think this horse tomorrow can go quite well, and I think he's still got a little bit more to come, and it's only going to be his 3rd career start tomorrow, so we haven't really gotten to the bottom of him yet. And I think that performance, if he runs like that at York like he did tomorrow, I think he's got a great chance in here of going close. There's 4 places with the majority of bookmakers in this race, and I think it's a great each way bet. I'll be disappointed if he couldn't go close. Kevin Ryan as well won this race a couple of years ago. I remember I was at Doncaster that day when he did. That was the Great Air. He won a big price that day at 33-1. So it's a race that the trainer likes to target. And I just think at 7-1 tomorrow in this race in the 240 at Doncaster, Uncle Jumbo's got a leading chance, and I'll be disappointed if he wasn't there or thereabouts come the finishing line. We then go to the 3 o'clock at Haydock, and this horse tomorrow is going to be my next best for Sean Levy and Richard Hannon. Now this horse was an impressive winner at Bath on his last start, over 10 furlongs, and that was again on softish ground that day. And going to Haydock tomorrow, the ground probably will still be on the slow side, and that's not going to be a bad thing. It means that we know he can handle the ground, and I think even though he has been raised a little bit for that victory, I think he was raised £7, he is actually going to be running off a mark of 81 tomorrow according to the paper, but I still think he's got lots more to come. He's by Golden Horn as well, who I touched upon in a podcast last week, and also as well in a couple of my videos recently, is a horse that I'm just starting to notice now is doing really well with his progeny. You might remember him from a few years ago, a Derby winner, an Arc winner for John Gosden in the Oppenheimer colours, and he's just starting to translate that through now with his progeny. They seem to be getting better with age, and not necessarily prolific 2-year-olds, but when they're up in trip and they're starting to do the business as a 3-year-old, I think he's definitely a sire to follow. And I think this horse, Mark of Gold, has got a lot more improvement to take, and he can probably get further in time. If you actually look at his dam side of the pedigree, he's related to the horses at 1 over 2 miles, so I think that shouldn't be stopping him. He's well treated off his mark in here, despite having to give a weight away with the 3-year-old allowance. And for me, if he replicates that run at Bath, he's going to be a hard horse to beat, and at 5-2 I think that represents a good bit of value there. We then go to Chepstow for the 325 with a horse called Under Curfew for Molly Phillips, claiming 7, riding for Tony Carroll. Now this horse, you might remember last week, Molly Phillips went absolutely mad in the closing stages of the race when she was shouting. It was a great story there, because I believe that was her first winner under rules. It went viral on social media as well, the jockey cam footage. But this horse, Under Curfew, he had been knocking on the door prior to that quite a few times this season, and he really deserved to get his win under his belt. Now he's actually going to be running in this race tomorrow, escaping the penalty, which is definitely going to help him. And Molly Phillip, her £7 claim is going to come in really handy tomorrow. And I think this horse is best seen over 6 furlongs. He's a strong traveller, and he likes to sit quite close to the pace, and he's going to be drawn in still 8 tomorrow, which isn't too bad. I've seen it at Chepstow plenty of times this season. You want to be kind of drawn or position yourself towards that stand side rail, and if he can at 13-2, I think that's quite a big price there, and I'm going to recommend this as an extra tip tomorrow each way. If he can replicate his run at Bath, I think he's got a solid chance tomorrow of being there or thereabouts, coming the winning line, and I think the £7 claim again is really going to come be the key to him tomorrow. So fingers crossed Under Curfew can do it for us in the 325 at Chepstow. We then stay with our final selection at Chepstow for the 540, the final race on the card. card there with a horse called By Starlight for Rob Hornby and Henry Candy. Now this horse, we haven't seen her for a few months now, when she finished in a fillies race at Newmarket where she finished in 4th place. And that was actually quite a good effort that day. The form has worked out quite well. The winner ran okay in a listed race in France. However, if you go back through the form, some of the horses she beat, the horses that finished in 5th and 6th in that race, have all come out and won since. And it looks like a nice little bit of form. And if you look at the field as a whole, this race shouldn't take that much winning really. A lot of horses in here that are either exposed, haven't really shown anything at all, and I just think By Starlight, you can currently back this horse at 11-8. If it repeats anywhere near that level of that run at Yarmouth, she's clearly the one to beat, and I wouldn't be at all surprised actually if she went a little bit shorter than she currently is. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things in By Starlight's favour tomorrow. I expect her to come forward for that run, and for me, that's going to be my final tip of the day. So I'll just quickly run through all those tips. In the 2.10 at Doncaster, we go my Nap Indigo Girl at 10-3 win only bet. Like I said, that price was available at Boyle Sports. In the 2.40 at Doncaster, the sales race there, my Longshot, is Uncle Jumbo at 7-1 each way. Mark of Gold, that's the next best at 5-2 win only bet. The 3.25 is Under Curfew each way at 13-2, and in the 5.40 at Chepstow, that's my other extra trip, By Starlight, currently at 11-8 win only bet. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos here on my YouTube channel. Also as well, if you want to join the Telegram group that I mentioned yesterday in my YouTube video, just click the link below. I'm involved with a few other people, a few other tipsters, and we're going to be sharing some of our best bets, putting up a double or a lay, something like that every day. I believe it actually hasn't been a good day on that score today, but fingers crossed the guys can get back to the winning ways tomorrow. And if you want to be part of that Telegram group, just click in the link below. It's in the description box, so that's where you'll find it. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, why don't you check out my website, which is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow. Fingers crossed Boss Power can do the job tonight, and we'll be seeing you soon.